You have the Cloud. This is the Stratus C8, the bigger phone, very easy to identify, and you want it to last as long as possible. Let me give you a bunch of tips to help you not only have your phone last in between charges, but extend the entire lifetime of your phone. Let's get into it. The number one thing to fail on a phone is the battery outside of a serious drop. So to help the battery live its longest life, when you are done charging, you have to remove the charger. If you have your battery set to charge up to 100% and you leave the charger in, it will slowly degrade the battery. So tip number one is to remove the charger as soon as you're done charging. Let me show you what happens to phones that stay charged in. The battery starts to decay internally, it starts to get puffy, then eventually it will stop holding a charge, and then very quickly after that it won't even take a charge and your phone will fail. Alright, so let's jump into battery settings to see what we can change inside settings for our battery to last as long as possible. So let's jump into, we don't want that, we want battery. Where's battery? Touch battery. So there's just a couple settings here. You can look at your battery usage. There's no settings inside here, but we can turn battery saver on. Battery saver turns on when your phone charges above 90%. The battery saver turns on the dark theme. We'll go over that in a minute. And limits or turns off background activity, some visual effects, certain features, and some network connections. So you can turn on your battery saver. And then if you don't like how your phone runs, jump back into battery and turn it off. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. This one blew my mind when I found out the details of how much battery it saves, not only in between charges, but extending the life of your battery. Let's go into settings. We're going to go to display, and it's simply turning on the dark theme, which every single pixel inside the phone now that is black, there's no electricity going to it. So not only will it extend the life of your screen, it extends the life of your battery. And in between charges, some people estimate that it can save up to 30% of your battery just by turning on the dark mode. Obviously, depending on how you use your phone. But try that. And again, if you don't like the dark theme, just jump back into display and then toggle that back on. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is another crazy one that blew my mind. We're going to jump into settings again, and this time we're going to go to connected devices. Now, if you use Bluetooth, you don't have to mess with it. But check out, we're going to turn off all the radios that we do not use. So Bluetooth by default is on. So if you don't use it at all for speakers or headphones, just turn it off all the time. The next one is just printing. There is an ongoing printing radio on that's always looking for a printer in case you print off your phone. Let's touch that. Let's turn that off. Okay, and there's other ones here where if you're connected to your Chromebook, if you have Quick Share, let's see if Quick Share is on by default. Not on by default. That's good. And then one more, Android Auto. Some people use this for safety. We can't do it because we're not signed in. But if you use the Android Auto when your car detects you're moving and it has some features for you, go ahead and do that. But if you use none of them, turn off all your radios. It's another big saver of battery. The next place where you can see a little bit of savings is make sure that your software is updated. Again, we're going to jump into settings. We're going to go to system, and we're going to go to system update. And just do that every once in a while. Check to see if your phone has updates. Some of the older phones, they're going to stop getting updates. But if you have the C8, I think still gets updates. So we can check for an update here. And updates are unavailable right now. So that is one thing to do once a month, especially if you have a newer phone. And sometimes that can help your phone run more efficiently and save battery. All right, the next place to help us have our phone running better is we're going to go jump into settings. And we're just going to see if we have any trash to clear out. So inside settings, we're going to go to storage right there, and it gives us a place, free up space. So we can hit that, and it will help us. I'm going to continue. I'm going to allow. And then we can just clear up junk files. The software inside the phone helps it know what to clean. And, especially if you take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos and delete them, you're going to have some trash to clean out. Let's see what happens if we touch that clean. Okay, we're already there. And then the other place to look is right here in trash. When you delete, depending on how your phone is set up, when you delete, again, old pictures and that kind of thing, it'll go into your trash. And, you know, if you work a lot on your phone, you might have to do it, you know, every couple of days or once a week or at least once a month. And that'll clean up your phone space and potentially help it run a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker, help save some battery. The next one's pretty cool. I'm going to give a demonstration. We're going to turn off animations. So the animations, when you use your phone, watch when I bring up the dialer. The dialer spins and then opens like this. And then when I close the dial, you're going to see it close like this. See how it closed like that? One more time. Opens and then closes. Now let's turn off the animations. It doesn't save a ton of battery, but your phone will definitely feel like it runs faster. So let's jump into settings. And we're going to go to accessibility, and really easy right here, color and motion, and it's right here, remove animation, reduce the movement on the screen. We could touch it right there. Now we can go back. Do you see how that screen just blinked off? Now watch what happens when we bring up the dialer. It just blinks on, and then when we close the dialer, it blinks off. So again, your phone is going to definitely feel snappier. Again, if you're that person that uses your phone a ton, you're switching back and forth between apps, you'll feel a difference for sure. And, you know, if you end up not liking how that works, let's just jump back into accessibility, go right back here to color and motion, and turn the animations back on, just like that. All right, let's go over one more. One more is let's get rid of apps we don't use. So again, we're going to jump into settings. Oops, not notifications. Let's go to apps. Now, it depends on who you are. Some people, like I don't like any of the games that are on here. So here's a game, 2025 Word Trip. Touch that, and I could just uninstall it. I don't need it. Okay, so you can go through the different apps on here and the things that, like, here's a card game that I don't want. There's other things like I'll never use Lyft. There's some of the Monopoly. Some of these you can remove and it will give you more space on your phone, which potentially helps your phone run smoother and quicker. All right, if these tips have helped you, please like, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. And leave in the comments which are your favorite ones that you've changed on your phone that now helps your phone run faster. And then let me know if you turn on dark mode, if it really does help your battery last way longer. All right, thanks for watching.